It's feature-rich, it's sturdy, and some would even call it elegant. Today we're looking at the Kawai ST-1, one of the best institutional pianos that's available on the market.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in beautiful downtown San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate the support and we would love to interact with you. Well, Ted, the piano fact for today is you're going to explain to me. You know, I know where they are in my body. Your ribs are here on your body, right? We're piano ribs. It's something I see sometimes, but what is a piano rib?
Okay, first off, pianos don't have spare ribs. They just have as many ribs as they need.
Okay, there's no spare. But if you're gonna smoke your ribs, how the 3-2-1 method?
Okay, just remember this: piano's ribs are on the back.
Well, you got ribs through your back here, right?
So, yeah, but most people think ribs are up here, okay? But piano ribs are in the back.
So what's interesting is people see a piano. Let's talk about a grand piano. They see the strings. They see the steel reinforced plate, that big piece of metal. And we're talking about when the piano's open, the lid's propped, you look and you see the strings. Underneath it, you see a big piece of metal that's shaped interestingly. And then underneath that, you see a piece of wood. And people think, oh, it's a big flat piece of wood. But is it flat?
No, it's not flat.
It's not flat. It's curved, right?
And when you look at an upright piano from behind and you see the ribs, okay, you're thinking those sticks are there to hold the boards together.
Nope. Nope. It's actually to keep it curved, right?
Right.
It's to add reinforcement because what they try to do is they're going to try to cut away as much of the wood as they can, keep it as structurally. They want it to be structurally.
It has to vibrate.
Yeah, it's got to work, but they're trying to cut away as much as they can so that they can actually have as much vibration as they can as well. And so the ribs of a piano are reinforcing the construction of that piece of wood.
They have what's called there's an arc in it, and a lot of times when the piano goes in there and they say that it's lost its crown.
Yeah.
Okay, and what it does is instead of being flat, is the ribs are actually curved, so they push these boards down so that the ribs underneath are curved. And so when the thing dries, it's arched, it's got a crown in it, and that's right about where you want to put the bridge. And you want to stretch the strings across there because you got a good vibration on that sound.
And it's all about energy because it's the more tension that's at play in the piece of wood, the more lively it will become.
Right.
And so we love to start our videos with a piano fact today.
The importance of ribs.
The importance of ribs in a piano and on the grill, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so we are talking about the ST-1 from Kawai. It's a very incredible instrument because it looks at what is needed as an institutional piano. And so people see that word institutional. A lot of the times, a lot of piano players will come in and they're just looking for a piano, right? I like the design of that one. I like the look of this. I like the sound of this, the feel of this. What does institutional mean in this sense?
I'll tell you what institutional means. When I was in elementary school, and I went to a lot of them because we were military, but every one of them kind of, and these weren't military schools. They were, outside. Some of them were on the base, and junior high. But high school is a little different. This is the kind of piano that's an institutional piano. Once a week, if you had music in your class, they'd push this piano into your room and the teacher would come in there because you didn't change classrooms and go to a music room. They just pushed the piano across, and then the teacher would go straight across the hall and go all the way down the hall and have music class. And then sometimes they would push the piano out of the music room, like by elementary school, there's a chorus room or a choir room. They'd push the piano all the way down to the cafeteria. These are the kind of pianos that they are. They're institutions, they have double caster wheels. They're designed to roll well.
They're designed for functionality. They're designed for their ability to be moved around
by non-piano people.
By non-piano people and to withstand a tremendous amount of abuse.
So when they smash into a wall, there's usually a dent in the school wall that's made by one of the corners of these instruments, or sometimes there's chunks of wood taken off on a steel door frame. But the pianos still work, stay in tune, function, and perform wonderful.
And some people really like the design of these instruments because they're very practical.
Every major piano manufacturer has an instrument that looks exactly like this with the same long desk. Baldwin had the 248 and the 243.
Yeah.
And then Yamaha still makes the P22.
But it was a P2 before.
And a P2, but
And
well,
so
no, it was
the ST-1 is a continuation of the UST. So the UST was, it went, all the way, you still see 7s and 8s, UST 7s and 8s, but when they got to 9, they had to roll over and they changed the ST-1 is the new rendition of it.
I will tell you this, of all the institutional pianos from all the manufacturers that look like this, the very first time you're going to freak when I tell you this, I've ever seen one in polished ebony was last month when that one came in.
Wow.
I have never seen a workhorse institutional type piano in polished ebony. And think about how many have you seen in satin? Yeah. Some kind of walnut or satin or oak. Or
famous oak one.
The blondies, remember the blondie oak? What we call church-looking piano. Every kind of finish you can imagine.
But never polished?
But never a polished ebony. And not a phony baloney looking polished ebony, but a real good looking one. And not one of those, the kind I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it was more fun to tune just because it looked good.
Well, so the ST-1 also, to your point, it's an institution piano all the way from intermediate school or elementary school all the way up, and colleges love these in their practice rooms because they're functional, they slide right in, and they're durable. And
we put out 4 feet of music almost right there.
And so the ST-1 will highlight some of the features. It is one of the tallest, if not the tallest, in its category. It's a 46-inch box. And so usually the ones I had seen had been 44 or 45. So they add a little bit of length to it. The double cast wheels are really nice as well because it's a lot easier to roll around. The music rest, the music desk is longer on this one. It's a 47-inch, so it's almost the full length. And so it really is a great tool for somebody who's going to be playing a lot of printed out music.
And remember, this type of piano shows up in rehearsal halls. And rehearsal halls sometimes have a problem with a standard regular pianist. So there's always someone coming in and here's the guy's chart. And so you have to look at it from the beginning. And so you can lay out a full big band chart and an orchestral chart as well.
Yeah, and so it's built super sturdily. It's got 5 back posts. It's got, we were talking about the ribs. It's got 10 ribs in it. It's really kind of built to be a structural force to be reckoned with. They reinforce the bench twice. There's all these little things these are the most common things that start breaking on these instruments because so many students will come and play it because it gets moved around. And it's, I've seen like the fallboard on some of these old pianos. It's just clunks down. They have a soft close lid.
School use, that says it all.
Yeah. Well, and it's lock. It comes with the locks.
It comes with the lock too.
So you're able to lock not only the cabinet at the top, you're able to lock the
keyboard.
The keyboard. So let's take a listen to the ST-1 here. We'll listen to it. It is a booming 46-inch.
They're great fun to play, great fun to tune.
And so we'll come back after we play it, but we're going to talk about the Millennium III Action that's built into the ST-1, which kind of separates it a step further
from all the others.
Yeah, from all the others. And so it's a great action. So let's take a listen to it.
So what'd you think of that
Well,
ST-1?
So I'm glad that we got a chance to play it because it really is an enjoyable instrument to play, not only because it has that carbon fiber, that Millennium III Action that we were going to talk about coming back out of here, but the keys are a little bit longer on this as well. So it's, what's funny is because this is an instrument that's an institutional instrument, you see a lot of requests for this instrument or ones very similar to it from school districts, from universities, from the government. We do a lot of business with those institutions, and they'll ask for, hey, we're looking for an institutional piano. And it's interesting because what are these manufacturers trying to separate themselves as? What is their key difference? And when they compare the key length, one of the big things for Kawai is, hey, we want to give more dynamic control. And so against all these other manufacturers that create this institutional piano for these different institutions, Kawai said, hey, let's make the longest key. Let's make ours a little bit bigger of a box in depth, and let's just add a little bit more key length. And so key length, when you're thinking about a tool, you get more leverage, and you get
fulcrum.
You get a fulcrum point that you get to control a little bit better. And they have the Millennium III Action, which is their carbon fiber action. It's their upright version of it, but it's got instead of all wooden components, it's got carbon fiber ABS, which is definitely going to last longer. It's not going to fall apart on you, and it's built to be something that's in a school because it's changing temperature when it moves from classroom to classroom. I've seen. This is probably not good, but I've seen them being pushed from building to building on sidewalks. And so just a lot of temperature control differences, humidity controls. I know the school turns off their ACs in the summer. There's just all these things that happen. And Kawai says, hey, let's put our best action. Let's put our best longer keys in this. Let's make a crazy good big box with 5 wood posts in the back that are going to support it. And let's make it a little bit bigger, 46 inches. Let's add more music rests. Let's add a reinforced bench. They're really trying to give you everything. It's got the double locks. It's got all of it. And they're trying to check all the boxes and say, hey, we're going to go a little bit above and beyond. MSRP on this is right under 9,000. I think it's around 88.95. And it comes in those different finishes that you talked about.
Yeah, the polished ebony. I have to say this. It sounds better.
Well, you love
it's the first time I've seen an institutional piano that is like, man, this is a presentable looking thing, like for a venue instead of a dull wood grain finish, which is what I'm.
When the choir teacher's up there on stage doing the
cool
musical,
next to it.
Look cool, yeah.
Yeah, instead of dull mahogany with missing.
I like the oak ones.
The oak ones?
Those ones they remind me of school cafeteria.
Yeah, it's like a school cafeteria on stage piano, or
well, it matches like the trim of the
tabletops.
Well, the tabletops and of the stage that they put together back in like the 80s and 90s. But incredible instrument, the ST-1 institutional piano from Kawai, really built as one of the best and one of the leaders in their offerings. And I'll put it out there. It is the Kawai does make the Boston version of the institutional piano that a lot of schools, these all Steinway schools, will get Bostons. But Kawai has they went to Kawai and said, hey, we want you to build this institutional one. I would say it's not equal because it doesn't have the Millennium III Action. It doesn't have some of those really cool things, but they do build it for a company like Steinway that requires a whole bunch of attention to detail. But Kawai says very clearly, we'd never make a piano better than ours for somebody else.
Right.
It's not in their best interest.
Right. Whether it's a grand or an upright.
Yeah. So this is the Kawai ST-1. If you've played one of the old USTs, I know a lot of music schools have USTs, 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s. If you've ever played those or want to leave some comments about how it held up against all the damage and all the abuse that it gets at a university or at a college or a school.
The other thing, not just abuse. This is what I like: the stability and the sturdiness of Kawai's designs and how they just don't hit the bare minimum. They've got 5 back posts. They've got all these things that makes it sturdy for this one particular reason. I don't think anyone sets out to abuse a piano. Well, but here's the thing: over the years, what looks like abuse is just regular treatment, and a lot of times just neglect. It's a great instrument. It's over there in the corner. We haven't done anything to it in years. They tune it. It's a great instrument. Meanwhile, it's getting beat up. It's getting wear and tear.
Think about how many kids have come through and played it over the years.
That's the whole thing. It's made for abuse. It gets neglect, and they last for a real, real long time.
So the Kawai ST-1, if you've played one, please leave some comments. A lot of people love these instruments, and a lot of universities have entrusted their practice studios. A lot of schools have entrusted their choir teachers with these. Really cool instruments. If you have a chance, come by, play one. We have one here in our San Antonio store. We've got multiples here in San Antonio. We have an Austin location. We have St. Louis, Kansas City, one in Bloomfield Hills, Traverse City, Columbus, Cleveland. Kawai piano galleries are what they're called, but you can come and check out any of the ST1s and see if it's the right piano for you, if you're just a player for your home, you like the look of it, or if you are involved in a school district or a college university. This is an incredible instrument that you definitely want to try and play against the others. So thank you
Absolutely.
guys for watching. We'll see you next time.